I introduced you countless tools and platforms. Each of them has promised to deliver results, and they certainly can. Which one will suit you best? It's not just about finding a tool, it's about finding a trusted assistant that will ease your tasks. Let's review what we've done so far. Let's remember the goals we wanted to achieve. We wanted to learn how others are creating those awesome content with AI tools. We wanted our learners understand how they could integrate those into the content generation process. We wanted to see you creating content with those tools. And our best achievement could be creating content for special needs. Let's make a review and evaluate the skills we've developed. We've started the course with discussing why you're here. As you want to learn from me, we want to learn from you too. This was the reason this course brought us together. We had to equip you with the information and skills to create great training content with the help of AI tools. At Section 1, Lecture 3, we learned about OpenAI tools, most importantly ChatGPT. Then we've used Presentation GPT to create us a presentation where the input was a single sentence. There were two alternatives we could use, Slide AI and StoryDoc. I hope you have visited them. If not, please do visit them. At Lecture 4, we discussed how important it is to create a well-structured outline. We emphasized that topic should be reflected clearly in the title. At Lecture 5, we created an outline with ChatGPT. We also used Decktopus to create a ready slide deck for us. It did that by asking for the duration of the course and target audience. At Section 2, we started creating content. We discussed the content should contain every kind of material necessary for conveying the message efficiently. A simple image by Midjourney or a very fluent paragraph created by Quillbot may not be enough. We may need to support it with different material types. Course outline needs to be well structured. Still, during the content creation process, you may decide to add, change, or delete a lecture. Creating flexible outlines can give you the opportunity to make changes. At Lecture 7, we introduced usage of mind mapping tools and how to use them for outline creation. Tools like ChatMind can easily create you a suggested outline. Then you can step into Udemy's template and fill in the sections, lectures, details about the lectures, and have a complete outline. While we were talking about plagiarism, I mentioned a few tools with which you can check the authenticity of your content. Let's mention it once more. Since AI tools are generally trained with data, they tend to create content which are similar to commonly met data. They don't have a real understanding of what beautiful is. They count on what is vetted as beautiful. I trust your values for creating content without stealing from others. If it is a content created by someone else, always refer to usage licenses before doing anything with that content. Now we know that I'm an avatar. Here is a question from my side. Can I take a video of this avatar and train a text-to-speech tool like PlayET to create subtitles with that tool? As this avatar belongs to HeyGen, it is a decision they should accept or reject. Make no assumptions and always ask for written permission. For a handwritten textbook, you need a pen and paper. For an online training course, you need presentation decks, images, fonts, maybe other materials like music, cartoons, drawings, etc. At Lecture 9, we introduced various sites where you can get those bare minimums. When they have AI capabilities, you can generate them according to your needs. At Lecture 10, we've created text with the help of contemporary ghostwriters like Grammarly, Quillbot, and WordTune. They not only correct inconsistencies, misplaced words, wordy sentences, etc., but they can rephrase what we've written for a more knowledgeable audience or with an intent like telling a story. Note that by using those tools, you provide them a data set for their training. You may want to evaluate their outputs so that they can also learn from you. Whether it is a full-length background music or a simple sound effect, you may need to create your own musical pieces for your trainings. At Lecture 11, we've used SoundDraw and Beethoven for that purpose, but also introduced AIVA, MuseNet, and Boomi. We've created our intro music. Depending on the quality and quantity of the musical pieces you need, you may prefer one to another. Most important selection criteria is that how easily you can create your masterpiece with that tool and how much time and money it costs you. It was Lecture 12 when I learned that I was an avatar. One day, everyone will have avatars. You can use your personal avatar with tools like HeyGen or Synthesia. You can use a specific voice or your own voice. If you use an avatar, you get rid of countless hours of video shooting, wrong pronunciation, seeming sick and tired. You just need a well-written script, and you can even automate the process. It may be the most captivating factor at training videos, yet, with the correct tools, it is simplest to create. At Lecture 13, we got the taste of creating awesome images, illustrations, and photos with AI tools such as DALL-E, Leonardo.ai, and Midjourney. For most content creations, it is recommended to stick with one tool, but for images you can use one to create and another to make it better. It's up to you. Even with free tier licenses, they give you enough credits to explore the features of the platforms. At Section 2, Lecture 14, we created a video with Runway. A video is nothing but a combination of scenes, and scenes are built by images or frames containing those images. So, we need to find out what those scenes should contain, and for that we used Gravity Right, created images for all different scenes with Leonardo AI and Midjourney, and created scenes with Runway. Once all scenes are ready, we can always combine them in a video production tool. Please pause the video if you didn't try animated drawings, Kyber, or Flicky. Visit them and give them a try. At Section 3, we started putting all together. For that, we need a tool set, and one of the most important tools for that is a video editing software. If you are using HeyGen or Synthesia, you may not need it. Still, you may want to have it handy, and you may use a tool like OBS Studio, Camtasia, Active Presenter, or iMovie, depending on which operating system you are using. There are other high-end alternatives like Video AI from Topaz Labs. You should try and understand which suits best to your needs. At Lecture 17, we discussed the importance of providing captions. If you are creating videos with avatars, you will very likely have those captions. Similarly, text-to-speech tools will need this as an input. You may need to have it in different languages as well, and at Lecture 17, we use Maestra to create those subtitles in different languages. Udemy is automatically creating subtitles for different languages when enrollment is over 20. If you still need additional languages, you can manually upload the text for those languages. At Lecture 18, we talked about voiceovers. If you need to add an additional language to your existing video, or if you create a new video in a different language, or will have different voices at your video, you will need voiceovers. One of the options is using the tool you are using for an avatar, and it can automatically create that. One other option is to use a tool like PlayHT, and you can have several voices available to your usage. 11 Labs is one other great choice for creating additional voices in multiple languages. Finally, when you start doing the same tasks again and again, you will look for a tool that can do it automatically for you. DeepBrain AI might be a tool what can do it from the beginning to the end, or you can be the one who defines where it begins and where it ends, and you can use a tool like Zapier. This was the topic at our automation lecture. With this final wrap-up, we concluded our lectures.